So we might get started. So hello, everyone, and thanks again for joining today's latest snapshot, which is titled Psuedo-Containerize Your Application with Nomad, which will be presented by Senior Solutions Engineer Masa Ito. So today, Masa is going to show us how to deploy, manage, and scale your non-containerized applications using Nomad. Before we get started, I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping items. First of all, I'd like to let everyone know that this session is being recorded and the recording will be made available within the next day or two. We'll send an email with the link. Secondly, today's demo will last for about 15 minutes, and to keep it to that 15-minute time frame, we won't have time for questions during the session, but please feel free to submit questions via the Q&A tab, and we'll get to them and answer them at the end. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'll pass it over to you, Masa.
Thank you, Peter. Hello, everyone. Good morning from Japan. So today, for next 15 or 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about Nomad, Psuedo-Containerize your application. So I'm Masa Ito. I'm a Senior Solution Engineer from Japan. So container, let's get started. Container is great, right? Everyone knows it's great. It has great portabilities, consistent, and less overhead than VM or hypervisors. Also, there are plenty of tools to orchestrate your workload, like Kubernetes. So maybe most of enterprise or most of our customer are thinking to shift to container from legacy app. But thing is, like, legacy apps are still in place, right? Sometimes there are a few reasons. Sometimes the app just cannot be containerized for some reasons, right? Maybe your application has hard dependencies on special hardwares, or maybe your build steps are very complicated, or depending on some other like license tool, third-party tool to build. Or maybe in your cluster, your Docker is not allowed or not available yet, or you just don't have time to containerize your applications. But if you still want to adapt some job orchestration tools, today I would like to introduce Nomad. So what is Nomad? So Nomad is very simple, lightweight workload orchestrator. So Nomad comes with just one binary. So you just download and extract to your path and run as server or client mode to create your Nomad cluster. Very simple. Also, Nomad works as IAC fashion. So I like to call it like job as code. So you just describe your job as code. So a very simple job syntax uses a language called HCL2. So if you are familiar with Terraform, HCL2 is also the language used in Terraform. So if you are already familiar with Terraform, you probably don't have many problem writing a job file for Nomad. Nomad is also designed for multi-region, multi-cloud. So you can federate like wherever your data centers are. Like maybe your data center is on AWS, maybe you're using Azure. Don't worry, Nomad has single unified control plane for all of your workload. So what tasks can Nomad federate or orchestrate? These are the listings of official and community supported task drivers. As you can see, there are so many kinds of tasks you can orchestrate. So task drivers are extensible, pluggable, and as you can see, there are so many kinds, so it's very flexible. So today, I'd like to focus on this one, isolated fork or exec. So isolated fork or exec driver, what it does is it simply execute any command, maybe any programs from command lines, right? So it also provide resource isolation for tasks. What that means is it utilizes C group or change root on Linux operating system. So the tasks dispatched by this task driver have its own process space or networking, and file systems. So this is a kind of sounds similar to container, isn't it? It provides some kind of resource isolations for tasks. But for this driver, you can just run any programs, any of your legacy apps. So this is why I call this kind of pseudo-containerized. So before I start doing demo, last thing I want to mention is Nomad works great with Console. Console is also our product. So Console is a service mesh solution providing full-featured control plane. So with Console integrations, Nomad can utilize the service discovery. So Nomad dispatches or runs a job and automatically registers the job in Console service catalog automatically. Also provides service-to-service connection with sidecar proxies, which, data plane. So it automatically does the authorization and encryption with mutual TLS. It also provides access control for service, like Fitch service can talk to Fitch. Also has layer 7 or layer 4 or layer 7 traffic management as well. Okay, so demo. So this is the demo architecture for today. I have 3 nodes instances running in AWS, consists Nomad and Console clusters. And my legacy app, which is written in Go, is on S3. So the artifact is on S3. And what it does is Nomad submit job to server, and Nomad server allocates the tasks. In this demo, we allocate 2 kinds of services, front end and back end. And also the console puts sidecar, inject sidecar tasks. So user requests front end, and front end uses sidecar to access to back end services. So note that this upstream connection is mutual TLS, so it's encrypted and authorized already. And in this demo, those 2 services are on same data center, which is AWS. But theoretically, it doesn't have to be in same data center because Nomad works great on multi-region or multi-cloud. So it could be anywhere. So for this demo, I like to introduce some service discovery feature, scaling, and layer 7 routing. And also, if I have enough time, I'd like to show you the auto-healing of Nomad. Right. So let's get started. So this is a job file Nomad uses. I'm not going to go detail into the syntax or job, but a few things I like to show you is this job file basically runs 3 tasks, which is backend version 1 and backend version 2 and front end. And each task is written in like this way, like we're going to use exec driver, and you can specify your legacy app locations, artifact, and some environment variable. And this is a command to run your app. Yeah. So let's let's run it. So I'm gonna to run Nomad job. You just type Nomad job run, and you specify your Nomad file. Okay, so it's submitted to Nomad. So it's already running in Nomad. As you can see, it's 2 tasks are starting. So for the, my first run, I deploy only version 1 of backend and 1 front-end group. So there are only 2 tasks or 2 services there. So it looks like it's deployed. We can check on console. So you can see there is a front-end and back-end service registered automatically with service mesh proxy. Sorry. Okay. We just run my app script to get the front-end URL. So this is a front-end URL. The service is running. Let's access to it. Oh, how come it's opened here? Sorry. So this is a front-end application. It just basically shows a web page with data sent back by backend. If you are interested in this program, you can download, you can check on GitHub. I'm going to share the link later. So at this moment, there's only one service available, right? Version 1, and running like this host and this IP address and stuff like that. So I am going to show you the scaling feature of Nomad. So let's go back. At this moment, I only deployed one service, but let's increase this to 10. Yep. So I run the job file again. So Nomad is now allocating 9 more, right? Because job file says 10 services. So it's going to create 10 service, right? So let me just go back. So I can check backend services, backend instances. So there are now one service which I deployed at first run. And now 9 more services are created and doing a health check. Yep, health check is passing. So at this moment, if I reload the web page, as you can see, you get different responses back from backend because there are now 10 services and console returns healthy service in round-robin fashion. So as soon as Nomad deploy your app, console provides healthy services to any other services, right? So it can be discovered pretty easily. Okay, so next thing I want to do is I want to deploy version 2. Maybe you add some new feature to your version 1, and you want to deploy version 2. So I'm going to change this task count of version 2 to 0, from 0 to 10. So now I am also going to deploy again. Let's go back to Nomad. So Nomad already deploying new tasks here. As you can see here, there are version 1 group and version 2. So there are now two versions of backend services. You can also check the topology of how applications are deployed. This is a new feature in Nomad. So here I have one data centers with 2 clients. And this is how applications are deployed in each node. Yep. This is very useful. So now go back to console service. Yep, so there are new services deployed, version 2, and which is still service check is ongoing. I think it should be set now. Okay. So now I have version 1 and version 2, but also I want to show you a layer 7 feature of console, which is I created the two subsets of service, version 1 and version 2, and default goes to v1, right? Also, I also set the routing rules. So if the request has a HTTP query parameter named version, and if the value is v1, it goes to v1. If it's v2, it goes to v2. So this is kind of like a layer 7 feature of console. And also you can check the routing rules from UI too. So if the version parameter has value v2, it goes to v2. So let's add parameter here. Question version equal v2. See, as you can see, you see a version 2 backend returning service now. Also, there's a path-based filtering as well. So slash v2, it also goes to v2 and returning healthy nodes like this. Okay, so this is pretty interesting one. The last thing I want to show you is a splitter. So we can like sometimes you want to control your traffic, like maybe like 50% of traffic goes to V1 and the rest goes to V2. Console can do such things as well. So we can console config, and I just run this config by my script. Which one was the set splitter? Okay. So I just set this this rule in console. So if I reload this page, yeah, there is a new splitter thing here. So if I access the default prefix, it's gonna route to version 1. Or if I reload, version 2, version 1, version 2, version 1. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much like half traffic goes to version 1 and the rest goes to V2. We can just keep reloading to test. So maybe you, so with this feature, you can gradually shift your traffic to new version. Or sometimes you want to go back, make it back to version 1 and something like that. Yep. So the last thing I wanted to show you is auto healing feature, which is Nomad keeps watching the health of services. So when the application go crash, Nomad try to recover them back to normal. But since we don't probably have time, can do that. But Nomad can maintain your legacy apps as well. Okay. So key takeaways is for today is, so Nomad supports various task workload. So your legacy app can be controlled or can be managed by Nomad with very advanced features. So Nomad tries to keep the tasks in desired form. So it's basically an ISC fashion. So Nomad try to keep your cluster's application workload as written in your job file. And also Nomad leverages console features. So with console features, you can also leverage all the great features that console provides by simple integrations. So references, if you want more information, here is a link to some of the informations. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Masa. Great job. Love that demo. Now I'm just looking to see if we've got any questions in the Q&A tab. We do have David Wright, who's our SE in the background answering questions. So thank you for that, Dave. I can't see that there is any other questions there. But if you do have any questions that you'd like answered now, please drop them in the Q&A tab. Otherwise, you can contact Masa directly on his email, which you can see on your screen there, masa@hashicorp.com, or reach out to me, just reply to my email that I've sent out to you. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our session. I hope you found it worthwhile and useful. As I mentioned earlier, this session was recorded and we'll make the recording available soon. You'll receive an email from me with a link to that recording. And if you like what you heard and want to learn more about Nomad, I encourage you to visit our Learn pages, which you can see on your screen there, learn.hashicorp.com, and you can find a bit more information about Nomad. Well, thanks again for joining us today, folks. And a big thank you to our presenter today, Masa. Thank you as always, particularly presenting in English. Really well done. Thank you. Okay, everyone, thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your day and goodbye for now.